Looking for a way to support our family without paying a dime? Like this video and subscribe to our channel. Okay, so I am back after my 2 days after my procedure, and all is well. Our big emotions have mostly subsided. So yesterday I was really sore, so we spent most of the day at my mom's house, who so graciously hosted us, and didn't get much done, but actually, even when it looks like we're not getting a lot done, we're getting a lot done. That's the one thing I'll say for, like, people will be like, oh my gosh, that sounds exhausting. Well, like when we bought our property, farming is hard, right? Like, that's hard work. Are you up for it? And we're like, yes, thank you. We are aware that this is hard. But I just had this conversation with a friend, and shout out to Nicole, and I have had this as one of my favorite phrases for forever is everybody's choosing their hard. You choose your hard. So, like, I choose farming as my hard. We choose homesteading as our hard. We choose homeschooling as our hard. And the way other people live looks way harder to me than what we're doing right now. And so it's just comes down to everybody's different and everybody's got hard stuff to deal with. So our hard is homesteading, and that means that especially this season, like spring through fall, early spring through really good and late fall, we are busy. Our hands are moving, even on the days or like the evenings where we're like, oh my gosh, there is nothing left in us. We can't clean the kitchen. We can't go out and install drip line irrigation. We can't go out and tackle this compost project, whatever. We don't have it in us. Then that night we will sit down and watch some mindless TV show, like lots of people do, but then we'll be loading the dehydrator trays, or we will be Dylan will be doing a load, like folding loads of laundry, and I will be working on social media for the business, or on Canva designing stuff to promote our next event, or making updates to our website, which is like a dumpster fire. Don't go there. We're working on it. So that's just kind of what our life looks like. Winter this year is going to be different, though, because it's going to be true, unadulterated rest. Am I still going to need to do stuff for the business? Yes. Am I going to be working on new stuff for the business? Yes. I'm going to take that time to do that. But, like, physically and emotionally, it is rest. It is recuperation, because it's only the end of August and we are exhausted. Like, Dylan looked at me a couple days ago and he's like, I'm tired. Dylan never says he's tired. And I was like, oh, did you not sleep well last night? He's like, no, I'm tired. And I was like, oh, like seasonally exhausted and want to be done with the garden and with the animals and all this stuff. Yes. Okay, I understand. So that's just kind of where we're at now. But this is the time that we need to push through, because this is the beginning of the fall garden, which is can be, and often is, and praise the Lord that it will be for us, very prolific gardening season for things that like the cold. So we're working on putting in snap peas and all different kinds of pole and bush beans and brassicas and chard and kale, all this stuff that likes the cool weather. Carrots. I think we can still do another round of radishes if we get to it. So we've got seeds starting in the garage under lights. which is just absolutely incredible. I'm so proud of him he took that on completely on his own. He held a meeting with the superintendent and the food service managers and building and grounds people for the district, and I'm so proud of him. So that's starting soon, which means we're going to have so much food scraps that we need to up our flock of laying hens in order to get the most out of that. And so we're looking for started pullets, which if you also live this lifestyle, you're like, what do you mean you're looking for started pullets in August? Yeah, I get it. I know. So there's none. Everybody's sold out of everything. But even locally and wide range locally, there is not a lot available for adult birds under a year old. We raise our hens like specifically for laying production. We're not looking for like production birds that lay 350 eggs a year or whatever, but like that's why we keep them. They're not pets to us. They are livestock and we treat them really well, but that's the purpose. So there are some people that will keep their hens for 3, 4, 5 years and they lay 2 eggs a week and they're okay with that. We're not okay with that. We retire our birds right around the 2.5 year mark, because that's when their egg production is going to go down significantly, and then those become stew hens and the next generation comes in. So we want to expand our flock with young birds that are almost laying, just newly laying, or have been laying for a little bit under that 1 year mark, to get a really good like year and a half of production out of them. And I can't find any anywhere. There are quite a few birds for people that are looking to show, which if you're homeschooling, that's a really neat thing that you and your kids could do if you don't want to do like the full homesteading for food thing, which I think you should. I mean, but that's just me and I'm biased. Or if you want to start in poultry and you don't know where to start, maybe showing would be a cool thing to get into 4-H with your kiddos. There are a lot of show quality birds that are available right now, and that doesn't suit us really much at all. A lot of the like show birds or pet birds that I've seen around here have been bantam sized, and we don't do any bantams. And if you're not familiar with any of this language, then go look some stuff up, because this is a perfect learning segue for you and your kiddos. So anyway, there's nothing available, and we don't like raising chicks historically. I get too attached, and you're bound to lose a few every batch that you raise, and it's a huge bummer. Like a huge bummer. People are like, oh my gosh, how do you process these animals, whatever. I could never. That's what we hear all the time. Oh, I could never do that. Well, if your life depended on it, you probably could, first of all. And second of all, we don't take it lightly. Like at all, not even a little bit. Dylan and I both still get teary every time we process rabbits. And we pray with them and thank them for their life to give us life. We thank God for the blessing of being able to raise livestock, and I think the day that we no longer get emotional when we put animals in the freezer is the day that we have to look at things and be like, is this really where we belong? I get really upset, but I feel honored to be a part of the process in such an intimate way of feeding my kids and my family. And I know that these animals have just 100-fold better life where we are than they could ever have anywhere else in a commercial or even just a large farm setting. ever done. We got that delivered yesterday from Wisconsin Poultry Things, and it's lovely. I'll show it to you when we get home. We got brooder plates, which I'm very, very excited about. They are direct heaters, so I'll show you that when we get back to, but they're really low energy costs, and they're not a fire risk like a heat lamp is. And I'll be honest that we used heat lamps up until this point, and even if you don't look at the fire safety risk, which you definitely should because they're very dangerous, like I didn't know how hot they got until I actually experienced it, and we inherited a couple with our property, so we're like, oh, we'll use these and make sure that they're like chained up really good, and they just get absolutely horrendously hot, like just a hazard to our small kids too, because they know better and I know better, but I touch hot pans when they come out of the oven because I'm a space cadet, so like we all need to be aware of stuff like that. So if you don't look at the safety, which again you should, then you should definitely, like, it's really hard to get exactly the right placement of the heat lamp without them being too cold or like actually physically cooking. And I have not cooked any birds, but like they're uncomfortable, they don't want to go anywhere near the light. Like finding that balance is something that I've not gotten good at, and with these plates you don't have to do any of that. So I'm really excited. Those came in the mail from Amazon yesterday. I can share, I'll share the brand, but I don't know anything about them, so I went based on reviews, and it seems like a good company. They sent a lot of literature with, which I thought was helpful. And so we got brooder plates, the Wisconsin Poultry Things brooder cage systems come with automatic waterers, which we are jacked about because chicks are clumsier than all heck. We got the jar. Oh man, I was supposed to get jars at the store. We'll do pint jars for now. We got jar chick feeders, which I'll show you too. So like the entire setup is better than anything we've ever had, and I'm very thrilled about that. I hope that this is going to be a really good experience. I bought extra chicks just in case, which sounds awful, but like honestly that's just what you have to do. And we don't feed them medicated chick starter, so there's going to be a couple, usually a couple that don't make it. So anyway, okay, so we're raising our own chicks. We're solving the problem ourselves. There isn't stock available around here. Okay, then we'll raise our own reluctantly, but we'll see how it goes. And so we might even be able to do 2 batches worth before it gets too cold. 2 batches of 30. They need heat until about 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks is what I have read. I am not an expert, so if you need an expert, I've got people for you, but this is just what we're doing. Someday I'll be an expert, because I'm an expert at some stuff, but this is not one of them. So I just went to Tractor Supply, got us some fencing to build these really cool compost piles, which I'll have Dylan do a video on. I got Nutri-Drench or something. I'll have to do like a haul video of things that I want to have in our chicken first aid kit, which is going in a sealable little Rubbermaid bin, because there's nothing worse than your chicken is all of a sudden struggling out of the blue and you have to go all the way into town for this one thing for them, or they're not even gonna make it that far and you're like, if I had this immediately I might be able to turn this around. So I'm learning from my mistakes and I'm getting everything in one bin. So if you have suggestions of more stuff that I need to put in there, once we get home, I'll show you everything that I've got. But please let me know in the comments. So today it's raining, and Dylan cleaned out the garage to accommodate this brooder that we got so that they can be close to the house and we can check on them often, which is another thing we've learned. So today's raining and we can be in the garage getting the chicks all set to go. We have some furniture that needs to be sold out of the garage because it's a mess city. That's what our whole life looks like right now, is an absolute mess. And I have never related more to anything than that sound, or whatever they're called. I don't know anything. The audio from Instagram Reels that's like, look at this, a mess. Look at this. If you go into my kitchen, it's a mess. If you go here, it's a mess. Oh, but have you seen my garden? Like, that's exactly 100% the deal. Every surface inside our house is covered in produce that needs to be somehow dealt with for the winter or eaten. And the breezeway is filled with mud and like a million boots and sun hats and toy planes that the boys bring in and helmets and all this stuff. Everything is a mess. But that's all for the fall. That's all for when we have less to do, then we focus on that stuff. And for the winter, that's when we focus inward as well to our home. We've only been here for a year, so there's still a ton of things that we don't have processes and systems for, like organization-wise inside. It took me a really long time to get to a place of equilibrium in our last house. We were there for 3 years, and for like the last 6 months, I really felt like I was in a groove. So, it's just going to take time. So we are going to get some shelving for the basement this winter. We are going to drastically downsize toys this winter because your girl is sick of it. We just got our pellet stove installed. Okay, so I'll have to do another video about that because we are jazzed. That's what I'm going to do all winter, is just sit with books and my laptop next to this beautiful cast iron stove and just be warm and be happy and sew wool quilts. That's what I want to do this winter. I want to recycle wool and make it into quilts. So I'm yearning for that. I'm yearning for the crispness of fall and all of this stuff. But then again, I told Dylan this morning. I was like, I looked at the weekly forecast and it's supposed to be like in the high 70s, low 80s Fahrenheit for all of this next week. And I was like, I want sweatshirts. I want to be done with all of this. And then I was like, but my tomatoes are going to be so good this week. They're going to be so good because they're going to like that sun and that heat. And we've been getting, finally, our tomatoes are blushing like 10 and 15 of the big ones per day. So of course I get this minor surgery done. Not like it was a choice on when it was going to happen, but I get this minor surgery done and our garden is like going like gangbusters, and we have all of this produce to put in the dehydrator or blanch and freeze or whatever, and I can't even put pressure on a knife to cut tomatoes right now. And that'll be like fine in a few days, but the last 4 days worth of harvests have been like 5 pounds of tomatoes a day. So, and none of them have been dealt with yet. So that is also what we're gonna do on this rainy day, is continue to process all of this stuff through the dehydrator. I'll show you the shelf when we get home of all the squash and zucchini that are still waiting to be put to use. So we're going to shred those and dehydrate them, and then you can rehydrate and use for baking for zucchini breads and muffins and all kinds of good stuff, which goes really well in all of our gluten-free recipes because we are a gluten-free household for medical reasons, for migraines, for myself, which is another day. Look at all these things we get to talk about another day. I'm so excited to tell you all of the things about us. So I'll meet you back at the farm, show you all the little chickies and what we have for that, and we'll see you soon. So we are back. Hi, we are back at home. So this is our little sprouties over here. Hi, little sprouties. These are growing green stuff. Dylan put a fan on them now, so that should be mitigated. So this is the 3-stall brooder from Wisconsin Poultry Things. These. So we've got the. Oh, that's trippy. We've got the automatic water. We've got the yellow thing is the heat plate, and then the. Can you put the metal thing in here, babe?
Yep.
Or put the jar on so they can see it.
Yeah. It's a little wet. I just came out of the dishwasher.
So they go like this, and then they're like self-feeders. Say hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. So, and then can you pull out the tray to show? So then the trays came from AutoZone, and they are 3-foot by 2-foot oil drip pans. And then the automatic water feeds down from the bucket up top. And
is the heat adjustable?
No. So that the heat is constant. It's how low it is.
Got it. How big are the chicks?
They just whittle.
Oh, they already ate that much.
Mm-hmm.
How they ate that much?
No, about half of it goes down into that dish. So they haven't eaten half a jar yet. But they're happy. And they know where to go for their heat.
What's this?
That's to catch the poops. We caught some poops in here already and a lot of foods. Hello friends, how are you? Why are you so cute? This is everybody all set. These ones are excited about eating. Can't see anything. Cool beans, cool beans. These ones are all getting warm together. Okay, we'll go this way. These ones are all getting warm. So are these ones. I think these brooder plates are a huge success so far. I'm very, very pleased. Hi. So let's go look at all the stuff that I got for them. Well, first of all, let's start here. So we get Nature's Best Organic Chick Starter and Grower from Tractor Supply. It's hands down our favorite. You got an enchanted walnut?
Yep.
Score.
I like
I
that.
did. I was cracking it.
Whoa.
I'm going to the barn for that.
Here's a mama and her chicks. You might not be able to see her because she puffs up and gets really mad. Hi, ma'am. Okay, love you, bye. Chick starter and grower. So we are planning to feed them this until they can go on mostly food scraps. You're getting bit up. Let's go inside. Be right back.
That's the only way. Okay? Those are fast that way.
So cool. Is there dog hair everywhere and I just cleaned this with my mom? Yes. Okay, so Hydro Hen supplement for drinking water. 3-in-1 probiotics and electrolytes. So there's the little ingredient thing. It's helpful for bebe chicks. Liquid B12 plus vitamin K. So this can be helpful if chicks are showing like neurological looking symptoms. They might be deficient in B12 or niacin. Are those the same thing?
I don't think so.
I'm a dietitian. Are B12 and niacin the same thing? If we don't know, it probably doesn't matter. No, I'm sure it does. I got this still. Poultry protector. It is for mites and lice still.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You still have to remove all the bedding.
Right.
And everything first. But, so the active ingredients, citric acid, inert ingredients, water, yeast, and potassium sorbate, which I felt pretty okay about. And then I got vitamins and electrolytes mix. Poultry, swine, ruminants, and horses. So that just has like lots of different vitamins that we could throw at people, not humans, not for human consumption. So, and then we also already have Vet RX, so I have to find that and add it. And then Dylan, if you would just close your eyeballs and come sit over here and then close your eyeballs. Okay. Come sit right here.
Ah!
Pigs.
Awesome.
So we can study up all winter.
No. Say it on me. No.
Do you loves it?
What is it?
What's our other new book? Go grab it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to put all of this in a, like I said, a little Rubbermaid tub that will be totally Polyface Micro. Whoop, whoop. So I thought that this would have like smaller versions of what's in, what is that?
Polyface Designs.
Polyface Designs, but alas, it does not. So I also need to buy Polyface Designs, but it's got a ton of amazing information for us smaller homestead scale farmers. So we're going to read that. We've got millions of books to read this year. So that is my chick and chicken first aid kit. So this is what we're looking at that needs processed ASAP. So we're over here, we're over here, we're over here. And then we have double this amount that is waiting for us, or is like ripening, because we have to pick a lot of ours when they blush because they're close to the ground and the mice get them. And then there's still, our vines are still like totally loaded. So that's the tomatoes that need to go in the dehydrator. So these were clearance bananas. These were clearance peppers that they'll eventually just start drying themselves, which is nice. They'll dry whole, yeah. We could just throw them in the dehydrator hole as long as we wash them.
Yeah.
And then this and this and this are all squash that we've grown. So this is not all the squash that we've grown, but these are all squash from our property. And then up here is the start of our dehydrated pantry. So zucchini and summer squash in like 3 different forms: chips, noodles, and shreds aren't up there. This is yellow, like pastel yellow and purple bell peppers. These are tomatoes. If we come this way, tomatoes, more tomatoes. That's what the boys call them, tomatoes. And then herbs and greens powders, sage, dehydrated shredded cabbage, poblano peppers from my mom's garden. Shout out Sharon. Dehydrated red peppers. And we just got this item. Giant barn zucchini, of course. It's a club. So I just got this in the mail. Food Saver vacuum sealing system. Oh, maybe Dill. I don't think this is the one that goes with bags. Oh, yeah. Quickly seals food in Food Saver zipper bags and fresh containers for easy fridge and pantry preservation. So what we really got that for, though, was to be able to seal our jars with it of dehydrated foods, because that can be helpful. So we'll do another video on her.